Okay, friends, we're going to start with our very first note. When we play recorder, we always use our left hand on top. This is my left hand. I can tell because I've got my watch and my wedding ring on that hand. Maybe you don't have anything on that hand, but if you want, you could put a little reminder like a bracelet or a scrunchie or even just a rubber band. You could mark that hand because that hand goes on top and it's very important. Even if you're left-handed or right-handed, the left goes on the top. We're going to start with our recorder and take our left hand, thumbs up. On the back of your recorder, there's this hole all by itself. You're going to cover that hole just with your thumb. Make sure it's all the way covered, not leaking out any places where air could get out. Reach around and feel with your pointy finger the first hole. Take a peek at it. Make sure it's not slipped down here to the second hole. That sometimes happens. If that happens, you're only going to pretty much be able to play one note. So make sure that this finger is up here on the top hole. The second finger goes on the second hole. Also, make sure there's no leaking happening. Don't put it in your mouth yet. Just check your fingers. Third finger, guess what? Third hole. Make sure that one goes right down here on the third hole. And your pinky. What do we say to our pinky? We say, "Not today, pinky. Not today." That pinky does not do anything. Our right hand, make the peace sign. For now, these two fingers are going to go together all the time. And they're going to go on the next two holes down. If you put your thumb on the back, you will notice it feels rough. If you're using a school recorder, that is where I engraved the initials DES into the recorder so that we know it's a school recorder and not one that you ordered online or bought at a store. So if you feel that rough spot, that's actually helpful because it kind of grabs your thumb and helps you grip the recorder. Huh? I was thinking when I did that. So now we're going to put it on your chin. And with all of those covered up, you are going to think the softest, barely moving air that you can. In fact, I want our first sound on recorder to be so quiet, you almost can't hear it. Like this. Did you hear that? It almost sounds like a tea kettle when it's just beginning to boil. Start off with that very, 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 very soft sound. Try that a few times on your own. Hit pause now and take your time until you get it to sound like that tea kettle, almost ready to boil. Now that you've done that, we're going to make our first pitch. A pitch is a sound that has a very specific frequency. And in this case, it has a name, and that is low E. With thumb 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2 on the right hand, with the left hand on top, right hand on bottom, you're going to put just a little bit more air in through your recorder and see if you can get this very, very soft note. Low E is an extremely quiet note, but it's a beautiful place to start. Here's what mine sounds like. Listen first. Now you try. Listen again. Now, if you're getting a note that does not sound like mine, there are many reasons possible for that to happen. Number one, you may be leaking air out of one of your fingers. Here's what happens if if I leave some air gaps between my finger and the hole, it's going to sound not quite right. Or if I blow too hard, too hard. If you're getting those sounds, number one, check your fingers, make sure they're on the holes with the squishy part of your finger and your thumb covering that hole. In fact, you should be able to squeeze your finger on that hole and get a little circle, little dot, just like that. See how there's a little dot? Can you get that dot on the squishy part of your finger? Don't put the tip of your finger into it like this. Make sure it's the flat part of your finger and the squishy part of your finger. And you're going to cover up 1, 2, 3, and your thumb. Right hand, thumb on the rough part on the back, 1 and 2 together. Make sure those are all covered up, and then go back to the tea kettle. Make it very soft. When you have the tea kettle, let a little more air come out until you get the pitch. Once you have the pitch of the low E, do it again. Do it again and again and again. Do it 100 times. Because if you can get that note on your first day of playing recorder, my friends, you're gonna be awesome. And I'm gonna be impressed. That's our lesson for today. That's all you need to do is work on that low E. Get that low E so soft, so gentle, and so pure, and you're gonna rock it. Make it sound good and stay awesome.